It's a little tight in there, isn't it?
Look, it's all in our mind.
Yeah?
Okay?
How do you deal with that? I've been in a submarine. I've actually...
I have too.
Because well, you were in the Coast Guard.
An old one?
To New
No,
London.
brand new one.
I was in an old one.
The new ones, you have to be really an engineer because they're computers and they're really very advanced. The old ones were, well, they called them big boats.
Right.
And they had a good reason for it.
Yeah, the one I was in was an old one. It was a World War II era submarine, and it was like a boat, but underwater. Very tight quarters, man.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, I could just about be in there for 15 minutes.
That's why everybody had to be able to get along. We have Captain Woodward, Nelson Woodward. I don't know if you fellas are familiar with him.
I don't know.
He lives on Nantucket.
Really?
He's married to a family from here.
Right.
And there's also Darwin Thomas.
Uh-huh.
He was on a.
Oh, I do know Darwin Thomas.
He was on a chopper.
Yeah.
He was on a chopper.
Uh-huh.
So Nantucket is just not whaling ships. Okay?
Submarines too.
It was in submarines, right?
How did you get into that? When you were what? Did you get out of school and join up?
I went into service and. They probably figured I was pretty stupid, so they kept sending me to school. And every time I asked for sea duty, they send me back to school again.
Right.
And then one day they come in and they said, "Anybody would like to go to submarine school?" And as a young 18-year-old, what do you really know?
18.
So I volunteered for it, and I wound up spending 3 years.
Did you know what you were getting into when you volunteered?
Not really.
Is it a tight space?
Yes, but there's no better service.
Is that true? Yeah?
That's right.
You're sleeping in shifts, right?
That's right.
Sharing bunks?
But it's like a big family.
Really?
Everybody has to depend on the next person.
Right?
No, it's all family.
He was a Coast Guard guy.
Yeah, I know what the military's like.
Okay.
Some of the best friends I ever had came from the military.
That's right.
Camaraderie's unreal.
And that's right. The camaraderie is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And the training that they give you, it really sets you up for life.
Yes, it does.
So Mr. Valero, 18 years old. That's a kid, isn't it? Wouldn't you say?
Well, I was 21 when I came out, and I had 3 years in service.
Right. You look at 18-year-old kids
great.
now.
Doesn't he look great?
I've been here 21 years. He's always looked great.
Man.
But 18 years old. You look at 18-year-old kids now, right?
Yeah.
And you think if there was a World War on. I mean, World War II was a different time, a different place, a different threat. It was a big deal, wasn't it?
That's right.
All over the world. 18-year-old kids going out to submarine school. I mean, can you see these kids doing that now?
No. We had Mike Wallace.
Right.
He lives on the other island.
Oh, yeah. The other island.
He was on we had him as our guest speaker.
Really?
Up in Plymouth.
Uh-huh.
And
Mike Wallace from
The Mike
CBS
Wallace,
News,
yes.
right.
In fact, if you go out to VFW and here in Nantucket, you'll see pictures out there with Mike Wallace, my son. My son's the chief bosun mate.
Right.
And in fact, he was just in Newport. He's on the Gunson Hall. And he just was in Newport at the War College, and I went to visit him. But Mike Wallace said the children today, they don't have understanding of patriotism or a sense of right or wrong.
I agree. You know, I grew up in the Vietnam era, which was another war altogether. I don't need to tell you. But just, I mean, if you study a little history, if you think about the world and the way it was then, kids today don't do that, do they?
Mike was on a subtender in Fremantle. A lot of the World War II subs operate out of Fremantle.
Australia.
Right, Australia.
I go down there all the time.
Right. And he wanted to get on a sub in the worst way, and they wouldn't. He was an officer on a subtender. So up in Plymouth, that we made him an honorary member of the World War II subvets, and they made him a beautiful model submarine.
I bet he loved it too.
Mike Wallace is even though he's a liberal, he's fantastic.
Even though he's a liberal, wait a minute.
Whoa, we
can get into a
now.
conversation here.
We have to.
Wait a minute.
In fact, I pulled that on Mike. I said, Mike, over on Martha's Vineyard, you have movie stars, you have politicians,
right.
and radio personalities like himself,
Right.
ultra liberals, which
Right.
Mike is. But I'm telling you, he's a great guy.
He's a
I
great
said,
guy.
So I said to him, I live on Nantucket. He says, oh, you ultra-conservative Republican? But he is great.
We're going over there at some point.
Yeah, we're going to go over to the
and meet Mike.
vineyard and meet Mike.
Right.
You better believe it.
Right. He's a great guy.
But, you know, ultra-conservative, ultra-liberal, and anything in between, patriotism is patriotism.
Absolutely.
And as long as everybody respects everybody else's views, what you were fighting for in World War II was for your right and my right
That's
to
right.
say how we felt about the United States of America.
That's correct.
And that's good to know. All right, Warren. Thanks a lot for talking to us.
Thank you,
It's
John.
great to see you. And we'll see you in March.